Over the last couple of weeks, the footballing world's main focus has been on the World Cup, and club football has taken a backseat whilst the competition has taken place. As long as it took for Qatar 2022 to arrive, we have just 3 games left now before it finishes, and we as fans get ready for the return of the Premier League. In today's video, we discuss some Liverpool transfer news as the winter window gets closer, with Fabrizio Romano providing an update on a potential signing in January. We also take a look at the Dubai training camp as the players go into week 2, and finally discuss why Liverpool have been handed a major boost going into the second half of the season. There is so much to cover in today's video. And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Before we get into today's video, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Just before I go any further, I would like to say an apology for the lack of videos over the World Cup break, as we as a channel had decided to take some time off to recharge for the second half of the season, but as of today, we'll be back with daily uploads. As I mentioned in the intro, the World Cup is almost concluded, with Liverpool set to return on the 22nd of December, where they take on Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. Whilst it is exciting in itself to just get Liverpool back, the January transfer window is quickly creeping up on us, and Liverpool as a club are expected to make moves with potential incomings. Already in the weeks prior, tons of reports are stating that the club are in talks to sign Argentine midfielder Enzo Fernandez, with some reports even stating that a deal is done and that the Reds have won the race. Fernandez is a player who is garnering a lot of attention over this season, with Real Madrid another side heavily interested. Enzo is a product of the River Plate Academy and helped his boyhood club claim the Argentine League title back in 2021 before he made a move to Benfica. His goals against FC Midtjylland helped secure the Portuguese's side place in the group stage of the Champions League. They also won the group containing Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus. Benfica also 8 points clear at the top of the Premier Liga and are favourites to secure the title that they haven't won since the 2018-19 season. Since the switch to Europe, Fernandez has averaged 97 passes per 90 across the Premier Liga and the Champions League, finding a teammate 87% of the time. He is in the 99th percentile for progressive passes per 90, averaging 9.5. What makes these passing figures even more impressive is that he just isn't playing it safe. In fact, he ranks in the 96th percentile for expected assists, 0.23 per 90, and is often looking for that killer pass. He is a controller and dictator in the midfield third, but also a creator. At 31 years old, Thiago isn't getting any younger and is hardly the most reliable due to injuries. The numbers show they are fairly similar in terms of output, with Thiago averaging 82 passes, 7.3 progressive passes, and finding a teammate 90% of the time. Adding someone to share that creative burden will improve the Reds if all goes to plan. Fernandez can definitely succeed the Spain international in a couple of years and be the midfield general for Liverpool for the foreseeable future, with the Argentine pulling the strings. Whilst a lot of fans, including myself, are getting excited by the prospect of signing Enzo Fernandez, Fabrizio Romano has had his say on the situation and claimed that it would take crazy things to lure the midfielder away from Benfica in January. He said, "On Enzo Fernandez, many rumours on this fantastic Argentina player. Important to clarify, first point, Benfica want to keep the player in January, so only crazy things can change this story. Second point, it's true that Real Madrid and Liverpool are heavily interested, but at the moment they are not negotiating anything with Benfica. Third point, there is a release clause in the contract of Enzo Fernandez and it is 120 million euros. Over the last week, Liverpool have been out in Dubai getting ready for the second part of the season, whilst also competing in the Dubai Super Cup. Liverpool played and lost to Lyon 3-1 and will take on AC Milan on the 16th of December before returning back to the UK. Despite Liverpool only playing one game thus far, Arsenal have already been crowned Dubai Super Cup champions after beating AC Milan 2-1 on Tuesday and winning the penalty shootout. Arsenal also beat Lyon in 90 minutes and on penalties last week, meaning they have already accumulated 8 points from the competition with no other team able to catch them. Lyon finished their campaign with 4 points, having beaten Liverpool in normal time and in penalties on Sunday, while 4 is the maximum number of points the Reds and Milan can achieve from their final match against each other this Friday. Jurgen Klopp won't be too disappointed with the sole aim of these friendlies in Dubai to regain fitness and prepare for the second half of the season. In the club's training session, there were 2 major things we noticed that we would like to share with you in this part of the video. Darwin returns. After Uruguay failed to make it past the World Cup group stages, Darwin Núñez is the first Liverpool player that was involved in Qatar to have now reconvened with the Reds. Núñez was pictured walking out for training with Roberto Firmino and took part in the warm-up session and rondos alongside his teammates. He didn't appear to take part in the finishing exercise later in the session as Liverpool eased him back into action. Despite a disappointing tournament for Uruguay, Núñez looked to be in good spirits and should now be in contention to face AC Milan on Friday. Curtis Jones spotted, but Naby Keita absent. Curtis Jones doesn't appear to have taken part in any of Liverpool's team training sessions in Dubai and is presumably working his way back from an injury. Last week, he was pictured jogging around the perimeter of the pitches with fitness coach Dr. David Ridings. On Tuesday, he was seen holding his boots while arriving at training alongside Núñez, but was not pictured working alongside the rest of the squad. This may suggest he was doing individual workout on the pitches, with a return to full training hopefully not far away. Naby Keita was another who wasn't involved in the session, which is hopefully just a case of Liverpool managing his workload, as he too returns from injury. Keita has not been seen in the Liverpool side since the Charity Shield victory against Manchester City, and it almost seems there is a setback every time he gets closer to a return. In the first half of the season, it has been well documented in how the Reds have had problems with injuries. The World Cup has bought some time for some players who are out for long-term injuries, and in turn has provided the club with a major boost. Arthur was pictured with his teammates before the Reds' friendly against Lyon on Sunday, with news now emerging that the midfielder's return could be closer than initially assumed. After joining the Reds on loan from Juventus at the end of the summer transfer window, the Brazilian only managed 13 minutes of first-team football before sustaining a serious muscle injury at the start of October. The problem required surgery, with initial reports suggesting he would be sidelined for 4 months. When asked about the issue later that month, Jurgen Klopp said Arthur had sustained a really serious and long-term injury. However, reports in Italy are now suggesting he could be available sooner than expected. According to Goal's Juventus correspondent, Arthur could return to action by the end of this month, with the latest tests on his recovery being positive. Fabrizio Romano, who despite widespread reporting on transfers, does have close links to some players and agents in Italy, and has shed more light on a potential timescale, claiming Arthur could return to training at the end of December, but is unlikely to be ready for match action until the end of January. Arthur is a part of the 32-man squad that are currently on warm weather training camp in Dubai, but is yet to be pictured out on the training pitches. Whilst the World Cup break was good news for Arthur, getting closer to a return, the same cannot be said about Luis Diaz, as the Colombian has received another setback and is set to undergo surgery, meaning he'll be sidelined until March. Jurgen Klopp spoke of the setback after the Lyon match, saying, "Yeah, he was not in the best possible place. It is clear, it's a big disappointment for all of us, for him as well. It was a non-situation in training, honestly, nothing, felt something. He didn't feel a lot the next day, but wanted to really be cautious and said, okay, come on, let's have a look. Yeah, then the news came in and was a proper smash in the face, but that's it now." Should he be sidelined until March, Diaz could miss up to 17 Liverpool matches, including the first leg of the Champions League tie against Real Madrid. With reports stating Diogo Jota won't be available until February himself, Liverpool find themselves short of a natural left-sided attackers, with Fabio Carvalho filling the role against Lyon. Liverpool fans, what do you make of the reports of Enzo Fernandez being heavily linked with the club? And do you think he would be a good addition this January? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. Please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.